Will Republicans trade Ukrainian aid for comprehensive border reforms? Show headline hide headline President Biden expected to veto any Israeli funding bill. House Republicans have passed a support bill for Israel, but it does not include aid to other allies, including Ukraine, which some Democrats do not support. Washington. A group of Senate Republicans issued a warning Monday, threatening cut off support for aid Ukraine unless Democrats agree sweeping changes border policies. Lindsey Graham, R-S.C., Tom Cotton, R-Ark, and James Lankford, R-Okla, released a proposal Monday that would make it harder for immigrants to enter the country seeking humanitarian asylum. Asylum is a protection given people who can demonstrate that they are unable to return their home country due persecution. Under Republicans' plan, people arriving at the U.S. border would be granted asylum only if they can show that they have stopped at least one other country between U.S. and their own country and are not allowed to enter. The proposal would also require immigrants to prove it is more likely than not that they will face persecution at home, rather than the substantial likelihood that is currently required. Immigrants will also be ineligible for asylum if they have been convicted of felonies or other serious crimes, including drunk driving or certain drug offenses. Republican lawmakers also called for enacting the so-called Remain in Mexico policy, first enacted under former President Donald Trump, which requires immigrants to stay in a neighboring country while awaiting decisions from U.S. authorities. A group of Senate Republicans plans to demand those changes in exchange their support for President Joe Biden's requests aid to Ukraine as the war-torn country continues fight against Russia's invasion. Biden asked Congress to provide $106 billion in additional funding for Ukraine, Israel and Taiwan. This offer included $61.4 billion in support to Ukraine. If I would not underestimate the level of resistance he would face if the border issue was not resolved, Senate Republican Whip John Thune of South Dakota said Monday night. He added that the working group that developed the plan was eager to get feedback from Democrats for a bipartisan initiative. But ultimately these are things that we think are really critical, he said. House Republicans, divided over additional support for Ukraine, last week granted independent funding to Israel, which expired when it reached the Democratic-controlled Senate. Will Republicans negotiate with the Biden administration? Record numbers of people are coming to seek refuge at the U.S. southern border as they flee dangerous conditions and authoritarian governments in their home countries. More refugees arrived United States in the first 8 months of fiscal year 2023 than any year since 2017, according to Migration Policy Institute. Something has to give, Graham said Monday. The White House criticized the proposal on M.